All right, so let's dive right into it. We're cracking open chapter 9 of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, one of the greats, right? We're going to take a look at a marriage that kicks off back in 1912 in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And let me tell you, it's a story that's all about young love, but also about some really, really tough realities. And it all kicks off with this line. He was 19 and she was 17. Simple, right? But it says so much. We're talking about our main characters, Johnny and Katie Nolan. I mean, think about that. 19 and 17. They're basically just kids, full of hope, just starting to figure out what it means to build a life. So for that first year of their marriage, they had this unique setup. They were night janitors in a public school. In this place, it wasn't just a job. It became their whole world. You know, imagine this. While the entire city is asleep, this cozy little school is all theirs. It's their own private kingdom. But here's the question that really sets the whole story in motion. What happens when that perfect little world, built just for two, suddenly has to make room for a third? This is the moment everything changes. That beautiful, idyllic life they've created is about to have a head-on collision with a huge new responsibility. All right, a world for two. Their day started when the rest of the world went to bed. So let's really get into what that first year was like. Picture it. They're walking to work, arm in arm, just as the city is getting quiet. They have their own key, and they unlock this building that's totally theirs for the night. Their whole schedule is flipped, their days are nights, and honestly, they absolutely loved it. And inside that school, wow, they weren't just working. They were basically kids let loose in this amazing playground. They'd write little messages to each other on the blackboards, play games of teacher and student. They'd pull down those big old world maps and just dream about all the places they could go. And Johnny, he would sing these really sentimental songs to her in the empty assembly hall. It was so, so good that Katie literally thought she would die from being so happy. And money-wise, they were actually doing okay. They were making $50 a month combined. Now, that might not sound like a lot to us, but back then, for their class, that was good money. It meant they weren't living hand to mouth, always worried about where the next meal was coming from, like so many other folks around them.
An innocent amazement, a discovery that would change everything. And yep, here it is, the moment that flips their entire world upside down. Katie finds out she's pregnant. And this was not part of the plan. In fact, as we're about to see, it's something they didn't even really understand. So the book uses this really specific phrase to describe how they felt: innocent amazement and consternation. It wasn't just pure, simple joy. It was more like bewilderment, confusion, like, wait, what? How did this happen? This is really the moment their carefree, playful life comes to a screeching halt. The reality of being responsible for a whole new person starts to sink in. And you've got to give it to Johnny. He really did step up at first. As Katie got further along in her pregnancy, she just couldn't do the physical work anymore. So what happened? She'd lie down and rest on a teacher's couch, and he would do all the work. His job and hers too. It was this really sweet sign of how much he loved her. But you can just feel the worry building in the background, can't you? A painful beginning. One night in frosty December. And this is where the story just takes a nosedive tonally. That magical fairy tale world of the school, it gets shattered by the brutal, cold reality of giving birth in a tenement apartment. So let's just walk through this absolute ordeal. At night, the pains start. In the morning, Johnny runs to get the midwife, but she takes her sweet time. Can you believe it? She's looking for her teeth, making a good luck charm. Meanwhile, all day long, Katie is just screaming in agony, and this goes on until the next morning. We're talking nearly 24 hours of this before their baby girl is finally born. And this is how Katie remembers it. Like being boiled alive in scalding oil and not being able to die to get free of it. I mean, wow, that is just brutal. This isn't some romanticized version of childbirth. It's raw, agonizing torture. It gives you such a visceral sense of the horror she went through, a pain so bad she just wanted it to end any way possible. And here's where we see the real split. The contrast is just stark. On one hand, you have Katie going through something unimaginable, nearly a full day of excruciating pain. And what does Johnny do? He can't handle it. He can't stand her screams, so he just leaves. He runs off to the saloons and spends the night drinking, basically forgetting all about his wife, his job, everything. The day after, the cost of one night, Johnny's little escape act, it had absolutely devastating consequences. That one night of running away from his problems came with a massive price tag, and it was about to completely unravel the life they'd so carefully built. And here's how fast it all went wrong. It was like a chain reaction. First, the baby's born. But while that's happening, because Johnny wasn't at work, the fires in the school go out. The water pipes freeze and burst. What happens next? Of course, he gets fired. And then once they pay the midwife and the rent, poof, the money is just gone, all of it. And this right here just shows you how deep his shame is. The principal hands him a note. He reads it. It's the notice that he's been fired. And what does he do? He just tears it into pieces. He says nothing. He can't face Katie, who's lying there, weak, with their brand new baby, and tell her that he just lost everything for them. He hides it. The secret lies within. A mother's promise. Okay, so just when things seem absolutely rock bottom, a new kind of hope shows up. Katie's mom, Mary Romilly, arrives, and she brings an inheritance, but it's not money. It's something far more valuable, wisdom, and an actual practical plan for how to survive. And this is Katie's heartbreaking plea to her mother. What must I do to make a different world for her? I mean, lying there with nothing, she's asking the question that every parent living in poverty fears. How do I make sure my kid doesn't have to go through the same struggle that I did? How do I break the cycle? And her mother's answer is so simple, but at the same time, so incredibly profound. The secret lies in the reading and the writing. This is the heart of the whole book right here. Mary's saying the way out isn't going to be through money or just getting lucky, it's education. The real key is being able to read and write. And this is what's so brilliant about it. It's not just some vague idea. It's a concrete plan, a set of instructions. Mary tells Katie, every single day you're going to read one page from Shakespeare and one page from the Protestant Bible to this baby. You do this every day until she can read them herself. And after that, she has to read every day. It's a roadmap, a daily ritual to build a new future. And here's the why behind it all. You must do this, that the child will grow up knowing that these tenements of Williamsburg are not the whole world. See? It's not just about learning vocabulary. It's about opening up her mind. It's about planting the seed that there is a huge, wide world out there, full of possibilities, way beyond the few blocks she can see from her window. So let's leave it with this final, powerful idea from Mary. In this land, he may be what he will if he has the good heart and the way of working honestly at the right things. It's this beautiful statement about the American dream, right? The promise that you can be anything. But notice that little catch at the end. It's not just about working hard. It's about working honestly at the right things. And for Katie and her new daughter, the right thing starts with the simple, hopeful act of opening a book.